Welcome back to Modern Mommies here on soulgarden.tv. I am Alexis Ann Moore, the mother of a beautiful 3-year-old child and the creator of the Superhero Children Project. And with me, I've got Jennifer Perry, my lovely co-host. How are you today, Jennifer?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. Jennifer is the mother of 3 beautiful children and has been working in the public school system for 17 years and is a elementary school counselor, which is gigantic. That's a lot of kids, Jennifer. We've also got with us Christopher Witecki, the wizard himself of Soul Garden. How are you doing, Christopher?
I'm good. I'm also a father, you know.
Oh, and that's right, he is.
I qualify as a father, yeah.
My
son is 17, approaching 18.
I totally forgot that you are our stand-in token daddy.
I am token father in some regards, and was Wizard of Oz, yeah.
Yes. We've also got Mary Neva, who is the ambassador of children at Soul Garden. How are you doing today, Mary?
Very good, very good.
Always wonderful to have you with us. And you as well, Christina Barnhart. How are you doing today?
Good evening.
Christina, for our last show, I was not really sure how to introduce you, but you had so much great information about medical research. I really wanted to make a point to know how to introduce you on that because it was valuable information. Who are you and what do you do, Christina?
Oh, so I guess I would say I'm an immunologist. I've studied immunology my adult life. So in research and in biotech, like with big companies.
And you're a mommy. And it's always
and I'm a mommy of two half children, half. Never mind. I'm kidding.
Has it been a happy day?
What was that? Half what? Half the father, half the sperm? Was that what you're going to
demon?
I'm going to represent the men here. What are you pointing at there, ladies? No.
Yes, yes.
It's always half of something in that spirit, yeah.
Feels like it with mine. I look every day, I'm like, which way is he going to turn, you know?
Yeah.
All love in his heart until something goes wrong, you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then that's the demon side.
He's also a really, really great problem solver at 3 years old, which is proving difficult for me because he uses charm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Classic manipulators.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, Alexis, if he's charming, I mean, every woman's heart falls in your hands.
I'm doing the best job I can.
And how the mommy responds to that. And whether or not he gets away or not, I think, you know, it's like...
No, he will.
He doesn't with you, I know.
I mean, it depends, but usually no, not at all.
You see through it all. No, you don't. Virgo rising, she does see through it all. But I'm putting out there for the other mommies. I think if you don't catch that in the early ages, if it works just once on mommy.
Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. Oh, man, you can't let it work once because then they will try every time thinking, well, there's that chance. This will be the time.
Oh, yeah, they try every time, and they try everything every time. Just like a dog.
So this week we're going to be discussing a lot of really interesting things, mostly stuff that's going on in the news right now. There's so much really cool and really weird, really off-putting stuff going on right now. So we're going to be discussing meditation in schools. That's something that's that we're having some news about right now. Some studies been done in San Francisco, so that's a pretty cool thing to be talking about. We're going to be discussing also the medical establishment's hands on your children. And we're going to be coming up later. We're going to be discussing tips and tricks to get your kids to do stuff. So that is both a tips and tricks segment and a Mommy the Mommy because it is always great to have some extra tricks up our sleeves. Stay tuned to find out how to get your kid to both stop throwing tantrums at the store and start helping out around the house. I have one trick to handle both, and I will deliver it later. But for now, let's start off with talking about something. Jennifer, normally I have you introduce the hot topic that we're talking about, what's in the news. We've got so much going on right now, but I'm gonna take this one because this is what I'm really, really, really passionate about. I'm like seriously all over this right now. So I don't know if y'all know. My friends here with me today, and you viewers out there watching, it's not something that we're hearing about in the news. I haven't seen it at all in the news. I might be wrong. It might be out there. I typically avoid the news, but New York NYPD, New York Police Department work stoppage has been going on for about a month, and so the police like pretty much quit arresting people. And what they say is that it is they are simply not arresting people unless it's absolutely necessary, which really has upset a lot of people because we're thinking, yeah, like where did that get lost in translation originally? But the amazing thing is that crime has gone down immensely. So not only have the police not been out there doing stuff, but the crime rate has dropped incredibly, and the courts are empty. And the incredible amount of revenue that normally is coming in from arresting people for ridiculous things is not there. So we're starting to see that that's really what it's all about. So Jennifer, you are really great with details and stats and stuff. What do you have for us on this story today?
Well, I did a lot of research on it because I couldn't figure out really, you know, what's the point? Why are they doing this? And what I found was really kind of two sides of the story. One side of the story is that the police department is mad at the mayor of New York because he didn't support them in the indictment of those police officers that killed Eric Gardner in the chokehold. When they were exonerated or let off the hook, he made some comments and said stuff that showed that he didn't really support that. And so that made the police department angry. And so their stance is basically, on this one side of the story, that they're not doing this because they're throwing a fit. They didn't get backed up, so they're now saying, you know, I'll show you and I'll take your money away. The other side and the other details that I saw was, like what you pointed out, that this really showed that a big part of the police department is going and harassing people and arresting people for BS crimes, because the courts were empty and the crime did go down, but it's because they quit writing stupid tickets, like for urinating in public, or, you know, like in the Eric Gardner case, he died over selling illegal cigarettes. And so a lot of those situations, if they'll quit arresting people for stupid shit, maybe people will quit getting hurt. And so I saw kind of both sides being shown in the story, and it was just kind of interesting to look at, you know, are they throwing a fit and being assholes because they didn't get what they wanted, or is it more a bigger issue, or is it kind of both? Maybe, I don't know. I think cops don't really want to be bad or go and harass people, so maybe this is kind of a way for them to.
So as a fellow U.S. Citizen, it's like, is there mayhem in New York streets? Are people going crazy? Is everything out of control? Like,
No.
you know, like, and you know, it may take the city a minute to notice no one's looking, so, or no one's trying. I mean, to some degree, I would imagine that the psychology in containing human beings is that you are constantly having to keep up a certain quota just for policed perception.
Yes. Yes.
And that they are, you know, pushing a policed perception as a deterrent, which is just like the United States having 100,000 nuclear, you know, missiles pointed at whatever we decide or whatever. That was an exaggerated number, but it is that out of proportion to the rest of the world, so it doesn't matter. You know, it's that idea of like, we'll just annihilate you potentially, you know, so don't try anything. I wonder if but it's interesting now because once the police have, once they did this, they've exposed to the public their numbers now. So there's no going back now, no matter where it goes.
See, that's what makes me very excited. And I just wrote and posted on the Modern Mommies blog a fairly ridiculous blog post, I will say. But the reason why is because I am a dreamer. I really am. And so when I first heard this story, my heart that wants to believe that people are primarily good When I read that it was in protest of the Eric Gardner case, I thought they were saying that that was wrong and that you're putting us in danger by not holding these other officers accountable. It's what my brain heard that way. And I thought, wow, these cops can just word of mouth with each other and come together in a way that we have been wondering if any Americans can do that at all. For like, how long have we been really realizing things are so screwed up in every single direction? But how are we going to come together? That's always the question. Well, they just did it overnight, and it's just them, but it's massive. Look how much change has happened just from them making some group decision. And so, furthering my dreamer heart, I think now I know some police officers, and they're decent people, you know. And I think that like there's two kinds of people that become cops. You've got the people that want to be like superhero vigilantes and save citizens from bad guys, and then you have like the egomaniacal. There's a word I could use that just want to muscle around other people and prove how powerful they are. And those are the people that are causing problems right now and giving cops a bad name.
Now, from a politician's perspective, just a little bit, you also think to yourself, it's like that guy who likes to pick fights and who's ready to fight. He's either going to be causing problems, or we could get him focused on the guys who want to cause problems. Like I think to some degree there is some social engineering going on somewhere on a Rockefeller level. Where certain people who are, who want to pick a fight early on, it's like, well, we know you're going to pick a fight, but since you're Irish, she'll probably be a cop or a firefighter.
Very wrong with that thinking, and we're starting to see it now.
But in the family, it's like, yeah, Mikey always picks fights. That's why he says he should be a cop. Like early on, it's encouraged.
That's terrible thinking.
No, I think how it is with boys to some degree. I'm not lying. It's like the Wild West will keep you in line.
Well, the Wild West is keeping people in line in New York because when we are not being bossed around and brutalized, it seems that we keep each other in check just from our own sense of morality. And probably the way it happened before there was an out-of-control police force and government and everything else is that if you acted like an ass, you got dealt with. But people just didn't act like that,
Bill Maher had an interesting point, and I think it's true. He's like, there's really with no one carrying cash, street crime really has gone away in New York. Like, no one has cash. What are you gonna do? Put his gun to his head, force him to the ATM, make him give me your password? No. The cash industry is collapsing, and as a result, it's squeezing out the cash, the people who live only on cash, which is, big bank, big brother's intent, incidentally, is to get rid of cash and make you have to be logged in with your underskin chip is their wet dream, right? Yeah, seriously, like that's their wet dream as far as controlling currency,
Way true.
And the Apple phone right now is like, oh, they love to wave and just have it paid. Good, this is good for our research.
That's all true. Yes.
To some degree, it's really gross, and and so as consumers, I think we have to just, in that regard, like, just take a tangent, just be very aware, and just always say, "This is gross." Oh my God, that's gross. And if you just kind of constantly say that kind of stuff is gross, robotics are gross, I think that's the perception that changes things really.
What, you don't want to walk around with a chip implanted in your brain and a weird thing hanging over the front of your face so that you can hear colors?
No, as a matter of fact, as I've been looking and reading the research offline, and I don't know if you ladies have noticed the stuff that I was posting, but like a lot of the birth defect stuff, it's looking like, electrical devices screwing with women's ovaries. In this case, I saw something with the Wi-Fi, Yeah,
I shared that too. Wow.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a whole nother story. I mean, seriously, the guy that was presenting that information said that he worked for the government in microwave warfare, and oh God.
Oh no, he's going to be found dead in sexual autoasphyxiation now any second.
Yeah. Strangled himself with a tube.
I want
Right, he was pleasuring himself, and he
So I want to
accidentally went too far and hung himself. Right.
Yeah.
After
Anything
releasing
they can do to dumb us
information.
down.
Oh my God. Yeah, but we are really dumb. I mean, we need to wake up in a lot of ways and just kind of shake it off and take a look at what's around us. Because some of the stuff, some of the audacity, it indicates to me that there's an assumption that no one is paying attention. Like, you know.
Okay, so that brings me back to what I was saying a minute ago. All right, so we are paying attention. We're just not getting together, and that's the really screwed up thing. Like, how have we been? We've got the internet, we've got chat rooms, we've got Facebook, we've got all this stuff. We bitch and complain about it all the time. I know that at least half the people I know are aware of what's going on, and yet we're not doing anything. So this really screwed up temper tantrum that the police are doing in New York, and how not only is it proving that the crime rate's dropping just because people are human beings, but also it's showing me that, oh my goodness. So
It's Modern Mommies.
my son just and
Modern
shot
Mommies.
this dart gun over my head. That's what's happening here. But imagine if the police got together, honey, and like actually banded for the people by the people. Like, imagine that. Can you even?
Yeah.
I mean, how easy that could happen. I mean, if half of the police force are like just jerks, but then the other half are decent people. Imagine if they just word of mouth stood up with everybody else and said, guess what? No, you can't do blah, 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 which I could go on forever about what all those are. But seriously, like, there's my little dreamer heart. When I first read the story, I was like, holy crap, we can band together. Even if it's over a temper tantrum, it can be done. Holy crap, that's huge for me.
We can. I think, unfortunately, as humans, we don't know how to band together without primeval causes, like being attacked, like on 9/11. Like, the only time America, at least, seems to know to come together is if we've been attacked, which I believe, as a pro-conspiracy theorist in many ways, that a lot of our, quote, attacks are so that we can unite, you know, behind certain causes and slip certain legislation under the table. You know, so the only time we seem to be coming together is if we are attacked by something. And I think that's part of why the cops are confused. It's like they got really united in 9/11 and stuff, and since then it's like, where's the morale? Who's the bad guy? You know, like, and in that cowboy Indian mentality, which is what I'm saying is kind of there at that level, it's like, we're going to have to reinvent and what their fun is.
Well, how much?
Because it's not beating down the black man, which is what it used to be. Now you come up with a new recreation.
How much simpler could it be than to say, taking back our country from the corporations that hijacked it? I mean, we are not, our government is not our government. They're corporations that are poisoning us and killing us and making us have these horrible jobs, not having enough money to have any kind of life outside of work and consumerism, and they're killing us. And
well, it'll be a civil war. There will be a civil war for that to come. I really think there will be. There will be a huge uprising, and there will be another civil war. But
I think they want a civil war.
You know, it takes one cop will ruin it for everybody.
First of all, just for the record, they want a civil war, or they want it to be like that. And let's just say from the beginning, it's not going to be that, because that's what they want. Like, I don't think it has to be a conflict this time. I don't think brothers and sisters need to bear arms. I don't think you should bring your guns.
Look how easy it was.
I don't think you should get rid of them either. But I think that this time, I just want to lay it out there since it's being said out loud. It's like, if there's going to be a change, we are so smart now. We are so smart. Look, if, quote, North Korea brought down, quote, Sony or whatever, if that's really true, you know what I mean? We're at a point now where we're you know, it's very easy. I mean, it's very easy to communicate. It's very easy to change things. It's very easy to manipulate people, and it's very easy for people to come together and unite at the same time.
Look, these police just made this decision, and all they had to do was stick together. They haven't had to do any kind of brutality or bearing arms or anything.
Well,
the union.
They shower together every day. They're pretty close as a company.
They're close. And it just
right.
takes one bad cop to ruin it for everybody else.
Well, and the union told them that was passed down from the union, and like Texas isn't
That's
a
the thing.
union
They're also
state, but I think
unionized.
the union kind of controls everything in places where
Actually, she's right. The union, from what I understand, is the one that has caused a lot of these public relations issues. Is the union in the background, which is officially saying that cops are upset. Anytime anything the cops say officially is coming out of that union office. And that was another discussion, like, you know, that was Bill Maher's point too, actually. It's like, in a time when Americans need unions to stand by the side, unions are still being dicks. They're still doing dicky things and a lot of creepy stuff where you see them existing and not really serving the client base, you know.
Well, speaking of creepy dicks, or dicks and creepy...
Sorry. All that language into the conversation.
Speaking of creepy dicks.
Damn, do not bring that modern dad on board. He's nasty.
So,
Where's my husband?
Yeah, we are. And
speaking of dicks and creepy stuff is what I meant to say. Separate ideas. Oh my god, that was one of my finest moments.
Great segue.
I was thinking, what about this excessive, what I see as excessive force, as this, I'm skipping by the way, Jennifer, but it just happened, of the CPS and now the Supreme Court demanding that this 17-year-old girl, they didn't just demand that she take chemo, they strapped her down and filled her body with chemicals. They sedated her and tied her down, filled her with chemo, which we were just talking last week, right, Christina, about how that wipes out your entire immune system, you know? And just because...
It kills everything.
What's incredible about this is that the mom is not wanting to do chemo either. So they're basically... And then so CPS jumps in and takes away her parental rights. So basically what they are saying is that your parental right is only your right as long as you agree with them, and they are ignorant and don't know what the fuck they're talking about, okay? So if you don't agree with them, you don't get to have parental rights. Right. You don't get to have rights over your own body. If that girl, like, murdered somebody, she would go to prison as an adult.
Yes, and be tried as an adult.
But they can go find her, sedate her, strap her down, and pump her full of chemo. Okay.
That's a port in her chest.
yeah, what's the story with? What is the story? Why is this?
Okay.
What
this-
led up to this?
What kind of cancer is it? Do you know?
It's Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay. And they said she has at best 2 years to live, which I think, when it comes to like stories of people that have actually triumphed over cancer with natural means, 2 years is a decent amount of time to do stuff, you know?
Yeah, usually you hear when people get conscious, they say 2, it becomes 10. Or, you know, like as far as like a lot of what you hear, people like, you know, way surpass that potential.
And
if she really thought about it, Alexis, she could heal herself.
Right.
Well, what's going on here? So why? So does the mother and daughter believe that they can heal themselves? Like, what's the story as far as what they think is going to happen if they won't force the chemo?
What started it out is she found out that she had lymphoma, and she wanted to look for natural ways to deal with it instead of doing chemo. And so the mother supported that. And so when she told the doctors that they didn't want to do chemo, the doctors turned her into CPS for neglect of medical care. Then CPS went in there and forcibly took her away and mandated the medical care and took away custody from mom.
Like, SWAT teamed her house.
Yes, like brought the whole SWAT team. And
what? Where is this? In Texas?
No, in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh.
Yeah. So they took her, strapped her down to the bed, made her have chemotherapy and blah, blah, blah. So she tried to take them to the Supreme Court to say that, hey, this is my body. I can decide if I want poison or not. And the Connecticut Supreme Court knocked her down and said, no, you're only 17. You don't really have the right to decide that. And
now, did she have a high-powered attorney? I can imagine has probably volunteered to take this case free of charge. I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah, but the thing is that they're going to have to go higher, and it's going to take time. So as we're taking time, she's strapped to a medical bed receiving chemotherapy. And Mom can't do anything because Mom has no rights. I mean, it is so messed up on so many levels, it makes you want to move to Mexico.
Okay, and so as a
Dun, 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 dun,
No
dun,
control
dun,
over your own
dun,
damn life.
okay, so as a natural healer, just science, okay? Science has proven again and again and again and again of the placebo effect, okay? So this girl is saying that she doesn't believe these chemicals are good for her, all right? Therefore, there's a very good chance that they won't be, because that's what she believes. On top of that, they have the girl absolutely terrified. I mean, SWAT team at her house. They took her away from her mom. The only way they let her come back to her mom after 2 weeks was after agreeing to chemo, and then she ran away. They got her, sedated her, strapped her down, and pumped her full of chemicals. Now, that is not, okay, I can imagine that her immune system from natural means, just how we heal ourselves, is completely out of whack. Like, what they are doing to this girl is so screwed up. If they actually cared about her health, well, they don't. They obviously do not care about her health. And if they do, they should not have responsibilities over deciding our medical practice for our own selves, because they don't know what they're doing. They're not.
And they're totally hypocritical. How much insurance they're saving, all that money, so she doesn't have to claim anything on insurance. And they want us to, they're trying to save money on insurance, and so they're so hypocritical.
Well, and how much money are the pharmaceutical companies making off the chemotherapy medicine anyway?
Yeah. I was going to say, why does a 17-year-old have fucking cancer, and why do we just take that as normal?
Yeah, that was my other thought.
It's just like, oh, and the 17-year-old who's dealing with cancer, of course, as a common is, 17-year-olds these days dealing with cancer. It's like, hold on, the reason we even have cancer, and then we use the same damn chemicals, same industries come in and put the same chemicals in your body. It's like we're lab rats where we're basically being charged to die.
Poison for poison.
Yeah.
Slowly charged to die all the time. And it's just like...
But now we're being forced.
I'm sorry, but the doctor, her doctor, or whoever, if it was their doctor or just maybe a hospital doctor, what kind of a dick was this guy to sit there and report this so it would go that far? Where's the compassion there,
Yeah. It was Connecticut Children's Medical Center. The doctors there are the ones that reported it. But, the other side of that is CPS, because I work with CPS like 5 times a month at least, and where's their common sense? That this really isn't something that you should be taking a kid away from her mother for.
What?
There's way other issues.
Like, during this time, they're going to cause the most traumatic experience of her entire life at this moment, really?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, I got to say, having lived on the East Coast, in Massachusetts and Cape Cod and stuff, my impression that people on that part of the seaboard are ridiculously shut down and clueless at how to treat another person. They really are. I swear to God. They really, even the nicest ones. And I have never felt so mistreated than I have on the Eastern Seaboard. And their answer is to drink at 5 o'clock, in order to start, in order to actually be able to get along with each other. So like this cold, callous treatment of this teenager is like, to me, I've seen a lot actually out there in general, just to each other and whatnot. I'm not surprised it's in Connecticut in a weird way. And I wonder if it's just like, it's funny, but like, I wonder if it's just like them overreacting to, it's just their fears of everything changing.
I mean, it also seems to me like with the, I'm assuming that medical marijuana is not, I can't keep up with all the states that are approving that right now. But it could have something to do with it. I mean, if you've got all these studies coming out all of a sudden of people healing themselves with this plant that's been illegal forever for no reason, that all these people are in jail for, when police are like murdering people on the street and getting away with it, but somebody's like locked up forever for a joint. If studies are coming out and it's making them probably look bad. So, you know, if this girl is wanting to do it naturally, I could see why they're scrambling to make those things not happen.
Well, I can see with this, who this doctor is, this family doctor, you know, I've seen this real cold family doctor kind of attitude, especially the older ones. Those really old guys that are still practicing when they're not supposed to be. We all know who they are. And their attitude is very cold about women, abortion, all sorts of stuff. So to strap her down and force her to have the chemo because we know it's good for her and she's just young and this is what's best for her, I've seen that attitude a lot.
Can you imagine how invasive? Like they went into her body. You know, they strapped her down. That's
yes.
Oh, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's an absolute horrible trend. I wonder if, you know, if someone was under Obamacare, if they would have already signed away their rights for this, and if we haven't already signed away our rights through Obamacare somehow. And this is.
See, that's what scares me.
I'm a little question mark about all of it.
That's the problem right there.
I think there's, you know, yes, we should insure everyone, but at what cost? What kind of stuff is underneath the table that we don't know about? It was built on top of a broken system. So now the broken system has a constant stream of customers? Oh, I don't know.
Well, you know, and Obamacare has, you know, they want to implement, essentially they'll say no death panel, but they, you know, they would want to implement that. How many years of life does she have left that she can give back to society? Well, she's essentially been given a death sentence, so why spend all that money to try to cure her? So it's just totally hypocritical and contradictory to what it just makes no sense. So I think it's like it's all about control, and they just want control, even though it's obvious that it's spiraling out of control, which makes it confusing when they do try to take control, because it in situations like this where it's contradictory, they just want everybody wants to control. Everybody wants to be president of the class. For some reason, that's really empowering, and they get off on that. I don't understand it because I don't like to tell people what to do. I don't even like to tell my kids what to do. I wish they would just do it. Read my mind and just do it. But I think that's the problem, is they want power. It's an ego. It just must be a massive ego boost.
I'm not sure what it is. I think at the end of the day, like it's a complicated system where, for whatever reason, we've started to look at human beings as lab rats, you know,
and sheep,
sheep, and also, you know, and frankly, I'm not happy with the way we treat animals either. We treat animals horribly. We treat each other horribly. We're not consciously really caring about anything. Everyone sees each other as a profit. You know, there's a big quote conspiracy to reduce birth rates and all this stuff, and I'm like, and you know, I think about that, and I'm like, because it's easier to manage. This is gross. This is very Nazi thinking to me, coming back. The old Nazi thinking is coming back in weird ways. In weird ways through corporations, like, and it's like, whoa, who the F are you to decide what the world population will be? That's God's decision. If you've had a baby, you know, maybe you have 5 or 6 because you're Mexican, but that Mexican knows exactly what that Mexican family's having. 5 or 6, they know exactly. They are willing to feed those kids. Who are we kidding? People who have children are willing to feed the children. You know, very, very rarely is it random creating children that end up becoming society's problem. These parents take care of their fucking kids for the most part. You know, like, so why even population control? Don't you want more people to carry your luggage? That's what I'm always curious about.
Well, they want to pick. They want to pick who is going to procreate and how many kids and who's going to have the kids. They want to decide that, which is communist.
Is that why abortion for white people is such a big deal, maybe?
Yeah,
for white girls?
I think that from the very beginning with Atlantis, if you want to get this scary, human beings were designed to be sex and work slaves. And there's this consciousness in the human race everywhere that came very high up in the Nazi race in that moment, where they really want to imprison other human beings to be sex and work slaves. Like, whether you're in prison through a chip in your wrist or you're in prison, you know, and as soon as the Civil War was, freed the black man, right off the bat, it's like, it wasn't long before taxes, all sorts of ways of bringing the man down. You know what I mean? It's like we've got to learn as human beings to be, to be driven by other things than controlling each other. I don't see what the joy is, anyways. What's a robot?
I know. I agree. In control. I know, and I don't think we'll be free for much longer. I mean, we're the only free nation that, as far back as we know of history, every culture has been some kind of dynasty, system. So we're, for only 200 or 300 years now have we been a free country, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stay that way for much longer.
Okay, so since we're talking about all this weird stuff, I'm going to throw in my weird metaphysical stuff, okay? So to me, we live in the fourth dimension, right? And to me, it's like there are rungs. Like, here's the third dimension, here's the fourth dimension, here's the fifth dimension. In the fifth dimension, it's like pure creation through love. And it's just an awesome place to be, okay? I don't know, I haven't been there, but I feel like I've been close. And then down here is the third dimension, and that's just no understanding of love. So it's all fear-based and just metal, like, create, but through action and no love, no magic. There's no magic there, okay? And they don't understand love. Now, my personal experience in life is that it feels like there are like rungs on the ladder in the fourth dimension. You can have experiences or eat good food or whatever it is that you do that makes your heart sing, and then you rise up the ladder, okay? And then you get a little bit closer to up here and associate with this vibe up here of creating through love, and that's where like you have random awesome occurrences and like your dreams come true and things like that. Or you can do things like constant drinking or bad diets or whatever you do, drug addiction, big time, to keep yourself down here. Yeah, where you are constantly at a lower vibrational state, and then you're closer to this level, okay? Down here, there's no understanding of love. So if you are like born into this world with no understanding of love, you don't believe that you deserve. So you fight to get what you want because you don't trust that it's going to come to you just because you deserve it. And then you don't understand love. So the people that do and that radiate love, they're terrifying to people like that because love is so much more powerful than fear. So the only way that they can trump that is by beating the love out of us and replacing it with fear. So if we just tell them, we're not afraid of you. You can do whatever the hell you want, but you're not going to take my heart, man. Like that. That on a grand scale, I think, is the only way.
I think that's a classic story in Hollywood, which is
that was beautiful, Alexis.
Like if you are in a concentration camp, it's like you're not going to take my spirit. You see that theme. You're not going to break me down. You're not going to break me.
Thank you for letting me do that. Okay, so we have seriously gone off on tangents today, but I think they were really, really good ones. But we're going to have to skip over the meditation story this week, and that is okay. We can come back to it next week because it's a big one and it's really important. I want to spend some time on it. I don't want to breeze over it. So, without further ado, let's discuss our tips and tricks for mommies. Let's break away from the whole, oh my God, they're trying to kill our soul, and talk about how to get our kids to do stuff.
Yeah.
So
Massacre to Mommy.
Huh?
From Massacre to Mommy, you're up.
Brutal massacre of our souls, Christopher, do you have some pictures for us?
I do. What would you ladies like me to put on for you?
We're going to do our how to get kids to do stuff. How to get your kid to do stuff. So let's start. I gave you 3 pictures, but let's start with the one in the middle. Let's see Zane, who we saw briefly a moment ago.
Okay, hold on. I know what you're... Okay, now that I know where you're going, give me just a second, and I'll cue it up for you. You go ahead and give the lead in. How's that?
Okay, so I'm going to share a couple of tricks, and then I'm going to share the how to get your kid to not throw a tantrum at the store and help out around the house, which was just like, oh my God, this works. So mommies out there and daddies, you know that every now and then, oh my God, I wish it happened more than it does, but every now and then you have a moment where you do something different and it works and you're like, oh my God, that worked. And then you want to tell everybody, try this, it works. Oh my God, of course it probably only works for a week until you tell everybody. Maybe don't tell everybody. All right. So this here is my little guy. That's Zane.
Okay.
That's him doing bright eyes. I can get my son. He eats really, really well. He eats really, really well, except for when it's time to eat. Okay? Like, we're talking like an hour at the table with him just like looking under the table and like staring at the ceiling. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's not eating. So I tell him, because there's mostly vegetables on his plate anyway, so we have bright eyes wars. That's the best pick I could get. You know, you can't. It's hard to get the pick when they're doing it in the moment. That's the best bright eyes pick I could get. But he'll eat a carrot and shine that face at me, and then I'll get a carrot and shine that face at him, and we see who can blast each other away with our bright eyes. The premise being carrots make your eyes strong. When he was 2 years old, I told him carrots make your eyes strong, and he took that to mean like weapons, okay? Because my kid's a pirate. So anyway, so we play this game where we like try to see who can eat the most veggies on their plate and blast each other away, and I almost always let him win. Almost.
I wonder how comic book villains are created. Here it is. In 30 years, he'll be like that, like comic book thriller and Superman. Thanks, Mom.
Gonna be like the carrot villain. I don't know.
I ate carrots my whole life, and now I'm the bright-eyed killer.
Oh no.
No, I just mean as far as laser videos. I'm kidding. It's a dad statement.
No.
But it's true. He does eat on cue for the bright eyes. Yeah.
He really does. Sometimes it's the only way. Like, we'll sit there for an hour. I cannot. I'm like so frustrated, and then the second I start the bright eyes game, it works. So try it. I mean, if your kid's little enough, it'll probably work.
Which picture next? Oops, I've already decided for you.
Okay. Well, this one's just really cute, and it was kind of the intro. This one isn't that precious. Let's get our kids to work. No, come back to this one.
Okay. Let's see here. Is
this
it here?
Yeah,
the child net.
Okay. If you have a kid, you probably know that their bathroom is like a living nightmare of toys. The bathtub. How to get them to clean up the toys in the bathtub. I mean, come on, man. You want out of the bath, but all the toys are in there, and I'm not going to do it. It is not my job. Like, I draw the line somewhere, man. Also, you get into the bathtub to take a shower, and you're like knee-high in random toys. Why do you need that many toys in the tub, kid? Like, what is up with that? So, being that my son is a pirate, he's really into nets. I bought him this net for like under $10. It's really well made. It is from oh goodness. Hey, I put it in my blog on the Modern Mommies page. But yeah, I got him the butterfly net. I handed it to him. I said, scoop up your toys, and oh my God, it works every single time for almost a year now. No, over a year now.
Wow. That's cool.
So make it fun.
That's cool.
That worked for me. A third tip I shared in the blog is in the blog post is how to get them to take care of their toys. Starting with that net right there, I got him a dollar store net that was a piece of crap, and he was so into it, and I let him beat the crap out of it. I let him demolish it, and he was so sad when it was over, when it was dead. And then I pulled this one out of the closet like 3 days later. And he hasn't hurt it at all. It's been over a year. So like, let them destroy a cheap one, and then give them the real one, and be like, hey, are you gonna hit this one against the sidewalk? No. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. As promised, how to get your kid to do stuff. I think that picture is awesome. All right, and not throw a temper tantrum at the store. So I'm at the grocery store the week before Christmas. My son got like a present a day the week before and the week after Christmas. He turned into a monster. It's not okay. It's not okay. He had never thrown a fit for a toy at the store before this. I don't know what I was doing there, but if I figure it out, I'll write about that, because he hadn't one time done it until the week before Christmas. He threw a full-on tantrum, had to throw him over my shoulder and leave. twice that week. I had to just leave the store because I didn't know what to do with this kid. So, chores. It is not a new concept. But I got him a money bag goes around the neck. It's like a little itty-bitty purse, but it's masculine. He shoves the money he earns every week in there, and then the first thing we do when we go to the grocery store is go to the toy aisle. He goes to the toy aisle. We let him pick out whatever toy he can afford, all right? And then he plays with it through the store. There's no more arguing. There's no more nothing. It's up to him. If he didn't do his chores, he doesn't get to buy anything. Isn't that a bummer? And then what's even cooler is when we go to the end and he does his own transaction and feels like a boss, he hands the guy his bag of money. The guy takes the money and gives him back like his bag with only like a few coins left, and he goes, "Oh man, yeah, dude, that's how it works. Now you get it, okay." So that's what I've been doing, and it's been working. We haven't had any more problems, and he is really good at unloading the dishwasher and all these things. I do not have to ask him twice. I'll say, "Do you want to do it and earn money?" And he'll say yes, or if he doesn't, I do it myself. Oh well, you missed it. There you go. How to get your kids stuff. Jennifer, you have a couple that you want to share too, right?
Yeah, I'll do one real fast, and then we'll move on to our hot daddy. How's that? Because I agree with you. It's really all about giving them choices and control and trying to make it fun. And so I found an idea that was kind of cute where you take ping pong balls and you write the different chores that you want them to do around the house on the ping pong balls. You can set this up either as a competition or you can work together depending on your family because you'll know their personality the best. But you set a certain amount of time, like 30 minutes, put all the chores that you want them to do on the ping balls, put them in a bowl, you say go, and your kids go run, get a ping pong ball, and do that little chore. When they get done with the chore, they keep the ping pong ball and go back and grab another one. And then at the end of the certain amount of time, whoever has the most balls gets like a surprise or wins or however you want to do it.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was a cute, creative idea just to make doing something that's not so fun, because I think that's really a lot of the key is making it more fun.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, it depends on the age of your child, of course, how to adapt these things. Mine is 3, so everything's kind of new to him. But, yeah, just adapt it to your child. Get them to do stuff, because if you don't start that early, it's going to be hard later.
Yeah. Even a 2-year-old can unload the dishes. Do something to start early to learn that responsibility.
You know, seriously, my kid is awesome at unloading the dishes. Well, he helps me. I don't have to bend over and over again for every single little plate. So he's just at the right height where he just hands it to me and I just grab it and do it. We're such a good team. We're really a good team there.
And kids love that. That teaches them they're part of the family and a way to give back.
Right.
Really, it's a great concept. Start that young. 2. Kids can do chores at 2.
They can't.
When I see that picture of that little girl do it with cleaning windows, that was me, man. We were always helping our mom. Like, I always assumed slave labor. There was no distinction whatsoever.
That's right.
There was mom would be like, clean this part of the house, and I'm going to clean that part of the house. And we were left to clean it. There was no like, oh, I'm here with you and I'm helping you. It was like, go fucking clean the west side of the house before noon. And we were like, oh, thank God we get to clean without her, away from her. Well, you know, it's like a break from your mom in a weird way, you know.
Was it like, what happened? Was it like TV or video games or what? Because like kids used to have responsibilities.
Well, you have to
what it is.
teach that. You have to teach them. And I think that we've gotten busy and things like that, so we're not directly teaching them to be responsible or to have responsibilities.
I think we are stupidly falling down the capitalistic dream and assuming that we're going to make money and be able to hire people, which is not what's going to happen. And you know, and no offense, but you're paying your kid and you're giving your kids lotto balls, so you're both on the same trade. You know, You know, it's like
reinforcement. That's what it's called.
yeah, to play the lottery. No, kidding.
Well,
I like it. I like it.
I mean, I understand the concept that he should do it just because, but this whole money bag thing is awesome. He is learning.
And nobody does it just because.
Well, he's learning to save his money too, because he's like, okay, wait a second. If I have $6 and this $3 toy is all right, then I'll get that, and I'll still have $2 to add to whatever next week. Like, he's figuring it out at 3 years old. He's figuring out, if I get 2 $3 toys when I have $6, the guy takes all my money, you know?
It's a great life skill you're teaching him. It really is. And it's starting little.
And so now when he's like, hey, I want that, and wants me to buy some ridiculous thing, I'm like, I don't have the money for that today. I don't want to buy that. And he's like, oh, okay. And he gets it. He does. I have a friend, 6-year-old. A friend's 6-year-old was like, asked me for some quarters one day. We were somewhere, and I said, man, I didn't bring my wallet in. I don't have anything. And he's like, well, can you just, he pointed to the window where the people give change. And he goes, well, can you just go ask them for some? It's like, oh, honey, like, you're 6 years old, and you just don't, you don't know? You don't know? They don't just give you money, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cute. All right, well, let's get our drum roll going.
For what?
Hot Daddy!
I see.
Yay.
Okay. That's so funny. Oh my God, this is the most embarrassing part of the show for me. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah?
No, I'm just teasing. It's not. Ready when you are, ladies. For your Hot Daddy photo. You want me to just go live with it? You have no middle? There you go.
Hot Daddy. All right. I'm really not good at that sound, so you could, like, get an effect and don't make me ever have to do that again.
No.
All right, so Modern Mommies is proud to present Zaniel Palermo. Zaniel Palermo. I don't know why I can't say your last name right now, but man, well done. As a Hot Daddy of the Week, we honor you. And Andrea, she sent you in to us and said that you are a super hot papa. So they have a brand new baby. And she says he takes wonderful care of our baby Zia and me, both at home and by working, so I can stay home with her. He loves to snuggle with her and teach her things, particularly about music. She's totally in love with him. That is a precious picture there, too. So, Daniel Palermo. It's an easy name to say. I don't know what happened to my tongue. I know what it was. I'm never doing that again on. Daniel, we salute you as this week's Modern Mommies Hot Daddy of the Week, and job well done, sir. Thank you.
Yay!
Babies are so funny. You can totally see them like
connecting.
They're just so. I just see them as old people, like old lady from past life, going like, "Oh my God, this tall thing is singing at me."
Can you pull the picture back up? Since we're talking about babies connecting like that.
Babies are cute, yeah. But they're looking up, you know.
Can you pull that picture back up?
Yeah, it's up.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's up. Well, yeah, you'll have to click on it yourself in your Google Plus environment.
That really is a great, look at that eye contact. Oh, wow. Really.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Far more spiritual than we experience after that. That's it.
I don't know. My son has his moments where I look at him and I go, "Whoa, man!" He started telling me the other day that that he used to be big with a big belly, and then he was small again. I was like, "Oh." Like he said he was a big person and he had a big belly, and then and now he's small again. I was like, wow, that's interesting, fella. We'll revisit that conversation another day.
That's really cool.
I didn't have anything to say to that. I was like, wow, okay. So that brings us to our finale here. Here on Modern Mommies. I want to say that if you have a hot daddy at home, or if you know one that you think deserves to be honored here on Modern Mommies, go ahead and send them in to us. Send us a picture and a brief reason why. Get over to our Modern Mommies page on the soulgarden.me website, And there is a place there that, Christopher, you can pull that up and show us. Yes.
Share their hot daddy.
Yes, share your hot daddy. Upload a pic there.
Yeah.
And a brief reason why.
Chicken.
I'm just wondering what's going to happen now.
Right. Please, only guys with kids, stellar daddies. That's what we're looking for here. And also be sure to join our mailing list. I'm trying to have a show here, you guys.
You're giggling on champagne over there, Jennifer? It's already started.
So I am also proud to announce that Superhero Children, the Superhero Children Project and Soul Garden are teaming up very soon to bring these superhero training classes for children. It's using science and meditation to teach self-awareness to children. And we're teaming up to bring those classes to the Soul Garden website. So definitely go to the Modern Mommies page if you're interested in that, and sign up for our mailing list, and I will keep you up to date on all of that as it unfolds in the very near future. It's unfolding. Also, we've got our Modern Mommies Facebook page, so visit us there and say hello. And feel free to upload any kind of information you find useful for mommies, because it's a group of mommies, for mommies. And yeah, we'll be back. We are now going live at 6:30 p.m. Central, and that would be 7:30 p.m. Eastern, if I got my math right. I'm always proud of myself when I say that right. So we'll see you then here on soulgarden.me, soulgarden.tv. We'll see you here next week at 6:30. Until then, live, love, be.